Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the second Yetis Without Borders podcast. We run a website about movie reviews and comic reviews and all sorts of nerdy things. My name is Patrick Saxon, and I'm joined today by Zach Sherman, who is a writer on the website, and Tim Saxon, my brother, also a writer on the website. Thanks for joining us, guys.
You totally cut him off in his intro.
It was rough. I was like, am I supposed to say hello? There was just enough of a pause.
Alright, there was, yeah.
That actually shows that you're just very complimentary. You just understand matters because he says hi, you say hi.
It happens.
That's nice.
So today we're going to discuss the cinematic masterpiece that is The Happening. Written, directed in 2008 by M. Night Shyamalan. But before we get into it, I thought we could discuss, if we've seen any movies that we liked lately or didn't like, or anything that interests us, in the movie universe. Zach, I know you saw Suicide Squad. Let's get some initial thoughts on it.
I don't know. I see why it's getting ripped apart by the reviewers, but I liked a lot of things about it. That would be my one sentence review.
That's fair. Mine was too much Leto, not enough Boomerang.
Oh, I'll agree with not enough Boomerang for sure.
I definitely felt that things happened, and there was a beginning, a middle, and an end to the film. I haven't seen it, so that's about my...
See, I can tell you haven't seen it, because I don't know that that's really true.
Yeah, there's definitely...
It sort of just has a middle, I would say.
Yeah, it's weird.
Wow, there's a filming style, middle.
But I love me some Smith.
He was great, yeah.
He's awesome.
I can't handle him.
He doesn't even show up scenery all that much. He's actually, pretty good. And you get the classic Will Smith when he gets, thrown up against something, twice. And I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Jason Bourne. For anybody listening to the first podcast, I gave away a very large part.
I just wrecked it.
I won't do it this time.
Thanks.
But I will say that the movie was absolutely 100% unnecessary. I don't know if either of you have seen it, but in the first three, the original trilogy, I had beginning, middle, and end. That's going to be my theme from here on out. Is things of that nature. Bourne Legacy, I watched for the first time yesterday. Not bad. I had been led to believe that there was just a bunch of pill popping and no action. It felt, pacing-wise, like it was a Bourne movie. But this latest one, they stole elements that made the previous four good, and then they just amalgamated them into a modern movie. And then they took elements from Live Free and Die Hard. That's the fourth one.
With Timothy Olyphant?
Yep. I won't tell you why, but just know that...
Timothy Olyphant in it?
I wish. I wish. Whoa!
Playing the same character.
Yeah. Well,
he did.
I can only hope.
Yeah. Okay, so suffice it to say, Jason Bourne, not necessary.
That's fair. My only problem with the Bourne Renner was the name of it.
The Bourne Renner.
I think that's what it's called. All they had to do, just don't call it a Jason Bourne style movie. Call it something different, and it would have been great.
Well,
it would have been really easy.
I think they were attempting to live off of the fame that the Bourne movies had, and treat it as if it lives in the same universe, which is fine. I didn't feel that it took away from it, and any mention of Bourne that they did, and it seems like they used cutscenes from Ultimatum. I don't think it distracted at all.
I'm not necessarily saying it distracted. I'm saying that the movie got handcuffed because of the universe that it was written into.
Okay, fair enough.
Same thing with Indiana Jones 4. If you go into it and you say this is Indiana Jones, this is Quickly Down Under or something like that, might not even be a bad movie.
Tom Selleck should have been in Crystal Skull.
Won't disagree with that in the slightest. Just say,
perfect.
Right? That's just a thing.
I think we just solved Hollywood. All of their problems.
Well, basically.
More Tom Selleck.
And a lot of Shia LaBeouf. I think he's great too.
Mutt. Why didn't they make that Mutt movie? Mutt Jones. That just rolls off the tongue.
Mutt Jones, P.I.
That sounds exactly like Indiana Jones. I can see that being.
If he was a goddamn P.I., I'd be super on board with it too.
Mutt Jones sounds like a super awkward, Grease 1970s porn name.
Like a 30s comic strip character. That's it's like Mutt Jones, and it's like a little.
He just like a little gang.
I thought with Legacy that they didn't go hard enough in on Renner. They were like, maybe Damon's gonna be back for the next one, so we don't really want to make it all about. I don't even remember Renner's name in the movie.
Aaron Cross.
You watched it recently. I watched it in theaters. But that was my big problem. If they had made it just about Aaron Cross and it was the Bourne Legacy, I'd be fine. But they kept talking about Jason Bourne. I'm like, it's not even in this movie, guys. I know you want him back for the next one. Well, I think they should have just waited. And if they wanted to do it with Damon again, they should have just said, we'll wait for Damon to come back.
Basically.
Well, I got the impression that certainly they were hoping that Matt Damon would come back. But I think they were attempting to let the audience know that this was existing at the same time as Ultimatum.
That's right. I
They were
forgot
using
about that.
cutscenes specifically from the movie, and then they got the original actors back to do new scenes. So, Joan Allen as Pamela Landy was in the movie.
Love Pamela Landy.
Cutscenes from Ultimatum as well as new scenes. Same with David Strathairn, the
I was trying to think of his name. That guy's
assistant manager of CIA, whatever his title is. I don't know.
evil guy in every.
Evil bad guy. Totally.
He was in the Blacklist playing basically the same character.
Yes, sir. But that was their goal, I think, was to hump together the two movies so that they were existing at the same time. And I don't think you could have Legacy without Bourne, because from what I'm to understand of the Legacy, the only reason why the program, what do they call it, Operation Outcome in Legacy, the only reason why it gets shut down is because of the shit that goes on in Bourne's territory with the Blackbriar and the Treadstone going to shit, with Pamela Landy releasing all the documents. It causes all of the other programs that are similar to be shut down, and that's why this happens.
I mean, yeah, they could have easily written a script quite, like, really differently, really, really easily. So, like, again, I don't think the movie was even bad. I enjoyed it. Probably more than Ultimatum.
Well, just to put some icing on the Legacy cake, they're proposing a sequel with Justin Lin attached. Justin Lin being Fast and Furious 4, 5, and 6.
And Star Trek.
And Star Trek, this newest one.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a shit show.
Do you think that means he's not going to do the next Star Trek?
I'm not sure.
Is that a sign he's not going to do Star Trek 4? Because apparently Abrams might do 4 now that he's not doing
Oh, really?
Star Wars, yeah.
anymore. So.
Interesting. That'd be potentially on board.
Well, I've reason to believe that Lin was attached to the Bourne Legacy sequel before he signed off for Star Trek. So when Star Trek came along, he's like, fuck this, I'm doing that.
Would it be with Renner, or is it like...
It is with Renner.
Oh, interesting.
From what I've been led to
Is
believe.
it the Renner-Damon on-screen combo we all been waiting
It is
for?
not.
Raymond?
Apparently that they're gonna lead up to that if they can.
That's weird. That seems like a Bourne cinematic universe, and I think that's a bad idea. That seems
Funny
like,
enough, that's exactly the phrase that I read on the internet.
That seems like
the Bourne cinematic universe.
everyone wants to do the cinematic universe, and I'm like, I don't think the Robert Ludlum novels have enough to, which they don't even follow anyway, so what would they be pulling from?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I want the Stephen King universe to go to the theaters and make real movies, because they all apparently exist in the same world.
That's what Dark Tower is going to reveal. We're all going to learn that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what happens at Dark Tower. Not to give too much of it. It kind of gets into the Stephen King
That's fair.
multiverse. That's the books that really go into it.
Did you guys see? Of course, the name escapes me. James Frank. 11/22/63.
No, I have the book. I haven't read it all. But
Stephen King book. Long story short, guy finds a time portal that allows him to travel back in time from current-ish day back to 1960.
maybe?
No, 1960.
Right, sorry.
A specific diner at a specific spot, and Chris Cooper of the Muppets fame, because I assume that's the only movie he's been in. So
Wasn't he in Born Identity?
Yeah, he was.
Totally true.
He totally
that's
was.
right. He's the main guy.
Yeah,
Johnny Treadstone.
He's maniacal laugh.
Yeah.
He's maniacal laugh. But I guess he's figured out that the way to make the world a better place is to stop the JFK assassination from happening. So when he goes back in time moves forward for him, but then when he comes back, it's only been like 2 minutes, so he'll have aged several years, where in current day, it feels like he's been gone for 2 minutes. Long story short, James Franco does it. It's awesome. 8-part miniseries on whatever station it was. I highly recommend it. I think it was Hulu, while we're at it.
I do like Franco when he's not part of Seth Rogen's combo.
He was great in it. I really liked his performance, and I agree. Once he is away from the Rogen train, he's pretty decent.
Yeah.
So speaking of pretty decent, we should not talk about The Happening. It is literally one of the worst movies ever. Would we be willing to put it?
It's really bad. It's because it's just him. It's not like anything went wrong. He did exactly what he was trying to do.
Oh yeah.
It just is like, what were you trying to do, M. Night? What does the M stand for? Does anyone know? I was thinking about that.
No,
because I was really bored during the movie. I was like, what does the M stand for?
Micro Machines?
Probably.
Micro Machines, Night Shyamalan, I assume.
I hope so.
But she was like an ethnic sounding name, and he didn't want to scare people away.
Probably. Muhammad.
M.
There was a point brought up in the first podcast we did where there was mention of how credit should be given to films that set out for a certain goal. Even if they end up being terrible, they meet their goal, they accomplish what they're going for, and that something has to be said about that. So if as you're saying, this is what
Minaj. M-A-N-O-J.
So Menage a Trois, Night Shyamalan.
That's what it was. He was just sick of people making fun of it. He's like, I'm just going by M. Make fun of that.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj Night.
I like it.
Nice.
That's the secret. That's the twist. Is she was directing these movies the whole time.
Oh my god, the Shyamalan twist of Shyamalan. Nicki Minaj. Wow, that's amazing.
Twist this whole time.
So I guess if this is his baby from start to finish. He wrote it. He directed it. He is one of the teachers at the beginning of the. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, I didn't even catch.
No, he's not seen in the movie. He's heard in the movie.
Yeah, his character's name is Joey. He's
Oh, he's Joey.
Yes.
He's the guy that Zoe Deschanel had tiramisu.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I shouldn't say one of the teachers. Sorry.
Tiramisu.
Yeah, we had tiramisu. That's all.
Yeah.
So they ate tiramisu and she didn't even bang him. That's terrible.
Well, it's for the best because that's a weird.
Also, it didn't matter at all, and it seemed like he was going to be obsessed with her, and he was going to show up, and then he
He
told her
secure.
about the attack.
Yeah, he told her about the attack in Philadelphia.
Yes.
I would be remiss if I did not mention the headline of the Philadelphia Inquirer newspaper. Philadelphia.
That's what I mean. It's like, why did he have a newspaper article about a lot of murders in Philadelphia? What was the point of that? It seemed like there was a point, like he's making some sort of message there. But I don't know, they were causing pollution through murders. Wasn't the pollution the point? Maybe.
I think it was an outside commentary of the movie as it was happening.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't even fathom the logic train that he had to have boarded for this entire movie.
Yeah. But it does seem like there's like repeated lines. That's what I noticed this time, and I didn't, because I saw it in theaters. Like there's the act of nature line comes back into news at the end. So obviously it's supposed to be like that's what the movie is, the act of nature. It all makes sense now. So what was the point of? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I totally wrote that down, and I'll preface by saying I have never seen this movie up until 15 minutes ago when I fast forwarded through most of it. But I think I got the gist of it. Mark Wahlberg makes fun of the pretty kid in class at the beginning, and the kid comes up with the genius line, it was an act of nature we'll never fully understand. At the end of the movie, as Zach's suggesting, some scientist guy on television says the exact same thing, same phrasing and everything, gives us no information about it.
Unless that guy is the same kid and he used that time machine that James Franco used and went forward in time.
Or his nose just grew that much.
Because the nose moved a fraction of an inch.
That's what it was.
That
and his hair got, that's what it was.
So maybe Mark Wahlberg and everyone affected by him lives outside of time and space.
That's what it is.
Because that kid was so flippant in school, he wasn't affected by Wahlberg. That's why he aged. That's why he became the scientist. Because Mark Wahlberg says to him, pay attention to science.
He did
learn science.
And then he did pay attention to science.
Forever.
The guy also said the probabilities thing that they had. Kept saying throughout the movie, which was like a little joke.
John Leguizamo as a math teacher?
I thought he was the only one trying in the movie.
And he tried far too hard.
Well, I think he tried hard enough for all of the other actors in the movie.
I read a thing on IMDb where Mark Wahlberg got cast, and he said he regretted being in the movie, but he said he had to take the role because it was like the first time he wasn't playing a criminal or a cop. And I was like, that makes perfect sense to me. Like, I get that.
Criminal to cop to science teacher.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Believable as a science teacher?
I thought he was terrible.
Yeah,
I agree.
I believe he was a science teacher. What I didn't believe was that the kids all loved him and were like, oh, Mr. Wahlberg, oh, you're so funny.
When he does that weird run-by thing when the vice principal rolls in, I was fucking terrified. I was like, what's going on here?
I can't imagine being in a class and my teacher does that.
Like, super weird.
Embarrassed for him.
At the end of that classroom scene, some of the kids have left already after they've said the laws of scientific study or whatever the hell it is. Mark Wahlberg looks at a few of the kids who are leaving the class and, hey kids, they look back at him. What? Oh, never mind.
Like, why would, yeah, they...
That scene didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he, why did he decide not to say, be careful? Like, it's not like... It's not like, oh, maybe I'm being crazy, maybe nothing's gonna happen. Something has already happened. There was a terrorist attack, they think, at this point. So, like, saying be careful is not that weird of a thing, Mark.
Well, and on top of that, he didn't say it until 2/3 of the class was gone.
I know.
Oh, well, fuck those guys who left first.
The handsome guy doesn't need to worry. He's gonna die.
Well, of course, because he's not affected by Wahlberg, because he lives outside time and space.
He's gonna be beautiful his whole life.
Oh, exactly.
I think I was weird looking anyways. Like,
How much does your nose? I loved how much that kid was worried. Like, oh, he just roasted that kid.
yeah, he really
He's the coolest guy.
Yeah. I guess we didn't even discuss the plot of the movie, which is really difficult. It's like the super simplest plot in the world.
How can you discuss the plot when there isn't one?
Well, there is a plot.
It just doesn't pay off and takes the entire movie to.
Yeah, the plot essentially is Mark Wahlberg, Zooey Deschanel, and a child try to survive what they believe to be a bioterrorist attack, but it turns out to be something very different, that Mother Nature is killing off the humans to make the humans understand that they can't mistreat Mother Nature.
And so
That's right. Yeah, like...
Well, I mean, again, the first time I watched them, like, it's 100% the plants. This time I'm watching them, like, is it the plants? Is it the nuclear power plants? Is it the government CIA?
I thought it was something in the wind, because every time they show a lot of people dying, the wind is blowing.
Yeah, that was a big thing. I was confused as to why... Like, I don't know if it would have anything to do with the nuclear plant, or if, like, Mother Earth was having something to do with, like, the bioindex of people, because when they randomly just, like, stop fucking moving, like, dude's walking, he just, like, stops for, like, a good 10 seconds, and then he just decides to kill himself.
And we're watching Patrick and I are watching the first scene of the movie, and they're in a park, and as an aside, it totally mirrors the end of the movie. Again, same park, everybody stops, but then some guy decides to walk backwards.
That's when it's the second stage of the thing, is you have confused speech and then you have loss of direction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I thought they were going back in time. I'm really pushing Mark Wahlberg living outside of time and space. I thought the movie was going in reverse for a moment.
Real time element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they didn't really stick with the, like, some people walk backwards and some. Before we move past the first scene, did you recognize, like, the main girl in that scene? She was.
Oh, she's in House of Cards.
Oh, is that what she's also the main girl in Cabin in the Woods. She's like the survivor girl.
Oh, what? That's awesome.
She had blonde hair in Happening, but she's a survivor girl.
I don't remember her role in House of Cards, but I'm pretty sure that she's in that.
That makes me both happy and sad, because I love that movie, and then she has to tell people...
Are you maybe thinking of Kate Mara? Then kind of similar.
No.
I don't know.
I know Kate Mara's in House of Cards.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first podcast. She headbutts a train.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Again, man, seriously, spoilers the entire time.
That's what I do.
It's fucking brutal.
I didn't spoiler Jason Bourne for Zach. You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I do not. So, I mean, like, there were obviously a lot of problems with this movie. Like, a shit ton of problems. I don't want to go down the how did this get made rabbit hole of everything that everyone says, but, I mean, we can even just start with the acting. Everyone's fucking terrible in this movie.
Everyone's really bad, yeah.
It's like everyone, like all of these seasoned actors in Mark Wahlberg, John Leguizamo, Alan Ruck's in it, Zooey Deschanel, it's like it's their first goddamn movie.
I feel like I will say Zooey Deschanel, I think, was just miscast. I think she did what she could when she's like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
You knew that coming in.
Yeah, it's true.
And they just were like, didn't give her anything to do. Everyone else, I think Leguizamo was trying. The dialogue's so horrible, it's tough. But Wahlberg is the worst performance I've ever seen anyone. Not really. Well, he's terrible. It's really terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's like he's being sarcastic.
And it's Wahlberg on 10.
Yeah.
Like, he just fucking sucks.
When he talks to that plastic plant.
Yeah.
When hey, I'm just keeping a calm voice, talking to a plastic plant, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it.
Yeah,
Just that little, like, raise in his voice he does.
Yeah, it was a really weird thing. Like, to me, it almost seemed like they filmed every person that was speaking while acting. Like when Mark Wahlberg's talking, it's like he's talking to an empty room, and then they superimpose all the people in it.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even know what he's talking to. He's just kind of like talking, and then people are just there. And he's like, oh, you know, and it was just so ridiculous to me. I couldn't get past the acting, and I love Leguizamo. I think he's a great actor. Wahlberg, less so. But
he does what he does.
Yeah, like, I love
he plays
Wahlberg.
cops and criminals. That's what he's good at.
That's his thing.
Just stuck to it.
Now, maybe you guys can clarify for me what the relationship between Wahlberg and Deschanel is.
I believe they were estranged husband and wife.
Yeah, they're married, but like they're on the rocks, basically.
I didn't get that impression at all.
Their on-screen chemistry is like nil.
Well, there's a photo at one point. Deschanel's first scene, she's sitting on the couch and she's getting calls from M. Night Shyamalan. I assume with stage direction, but totally. She looks at a photo and it's Mark Wahlberg and his wife. It doesn't look like Deschanel. I was trying to place who the actor was that was playing his wife because I didn't feel that it was Deschanel at all.
Interesting.
And Leguizamo tells the story about how on their wedding day he went into her room and
She was crying.
she wasn't ready. He saw it in her eyes. Man, when he just like is like, I'm glad you decided to come with us.
But does he reference her name though?
No, but like, yeah, I think he does. Because they're talking. He's like, no, she's being weird right now.
Yeah,
like,
they definitely discuss. Like, they are definitely married.
Okay.
Like, that's a thing.
Because I just, I didn't get that impression in the least, and I was trying to understand their connection through the movie, and I could not find it.
Yeah, it's tough. The only reason I know that is because I read the synopsis multiple times just to clarify what was going on.
Okay.
But, I mean, and they were on the rocks, but not on the rocks, and they had zero chemistry, which is just, like, that was the worst pairing of man-woman I've ever seen in a movie, I want to say.
I have a question. Do you think he actually did do that thing with the cough syrup? Do you think that was a true story?
Yeah.
It seems so true. Like, how can he just make that up?
Yeah.
Are you joking? Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That was
Terrible.
That was rough.
Give the backstory about the cough syrup.
So so she has this thing with Joey where they had tiramisu and she's sort of considering cheating on her husband. That's what it's supposed to be. That's why she's being weird.
Gonna cheat on Mark Wahlberg with M. Night Shyamalan, by the way.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just has M. Night Shyamalan's voice and he looks like Tom Brady. We don't know in the universe of the movie. So later, after she tells Mark Wahlberg this, he tells her that there was a very attractive pharmacist and he went into the pharmacy and asked her where cough syrup was, even though he didn't have a tickle in his throat. And that was supposed to be his joke, like his way of diffusing the tension.
Yeah.
And she loved it. She was like, "This is the best thing that's ever happened. This joke you've told me." Yeah. It seems sort of passive aggressive to me to be like, "I also."
Yeah. Funny that you cheated. Yeah. I also did.
Yeah. The cough syrup was he.
I also was desperately unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking for any human interaction.
Yeah. The whole. Yeah. Oh my god. I can't even. That chemistry just blew my fucking mind. I can't even say that the young girl did a poor job. I mean, she was a child actor acting with 3 pieces of cardboard.
I can't remember the point. I think at one point they looped the same crying sound over and over again.
I was totally just going to mention, there's a scene closer to the end of the movie where they're running through a field, and the looped crying sound is happening. She's not crying. She is clearly not agitated in the way that the crying would suggest she should be.
I'll buy that. It's because M. Night Shyamalan knows that children can't act properly, so he is doing the emotions for them.
He's crying off screen.
That's Cry with him.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like the one scene I liked in the movie because it had no dialogue was when they realized that John Leguizamo was probably dead. He left to go find his wife, which I want to ask you guys about after. But he left to go find his wife. They hear that Princeton, I think is where he is, has been hit.
Yeah.
So Mark Wahlberg's breaking down, and the little girl's breaking down because both of her parents are probably dead. And she comes over and like whispers in Mark Wahlberg's ear, which is like the thing she only did with her dad.
Does she whisper, "I see dead people"?
No.
She might have. We don't hear what it is, but I'm like, oh, that was a nice moment. But what I wanted to ask is, what do you think of John Leguizamo's decision to leave his daughter to maybe go save his wife? Because again, the movie was really boring, so I was just like putting myself in the shoes. I'm like, would I leave my daughter to maybe save my wife? Like, even if I have a chance of saving my wife, is it worth leaving my daughter, even with my best friend? That's my daughter.
What if there's motivation even before that happens? Maybe Leguizamo's aware that he's infected by Mother Nature, so he's giving her the opportunity to live on?
No, because he sees later in the thing, also really stupid that they act like the soft top Jeep was like airproof before it had the little rip in it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, oh, it would have kept all the air out, but there's this little rip.
Yeah.
I think they really thought they could get in the. No one had any idea how anything works in this movie.
No. It was ridiculous.
They're like, houses are like airtight. Like nothing is airtight in the world. I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong.
No.
The plot for this movie is airtight.
Fully airtight. As a personal choice, I think he made like 100% chance of being with the daughter, 50% chance you can keep her alive, 50% chance of getting to the wife, maybe a 25% chance she could be alive.
What if you save your wife and your
What are
daughter
the fractions?
dies? Like what?
We're at like 375%.
No. I'm saying like he's with the daughter. He knows this.
He's
So
100% gonna be with her.
Yeah. Whereas he could get to the wife could already be dead.
Exactly.
Right?
And then he comes back and his daughter's dead. Like,
Yeah.
you stay with your daughter.
Yeah. So and then if he stays with the daughter, there's like a 50% chance the daughter could live. And he could live. Like, you don't know. I mean, we know because Mark Wahlberg is clearly not going to die. He's the main character.
So summary, poor motivation.
It's poor human judgment by John Leguizamo's character.
I mean, it's a tough choice to make. I'm not judging Johnny or anything, but it was it's a real Sophie's choice. Do you maybe save the love of your life, or do you stay with your kid? I think you stay with your kid personally. That's what I learned about myself. I would stay with my kid.
I mean, 100%.
I said don't judge him, but I did judge him in the movie. I'm like, that was a dumb choice, and I know you died.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right away because I've seen the movie before.
Well, yeah. It blew my mind because I would absolutely stay with the daughter because I mean they're enough of a distance away that like it takes these people 2 minutes to die. Like they see people like jump off fucking buildings and like walk in front of traffic and whatever. Like in that amount of time, your wife could easily die.
Yeah, like your wife's probably dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If she's not texting you back, she's probably dead. Like
More likely than
it's not
not.
like people are taking people hostage and taking their phones away. Like either you're alive or you can text or you're dead.
Or
yeah.
Mother Nature is fucking with the cell signal and she didn't have service.
That could, yeah. I mean, and Leguizamo's death scene, it was the lawnmower, right?
No, absolutely not.
It was the car. Which I had a problem with.
No. He was kneeling in the middle of a street.
And then he crashed through the window, and then he gets up and he gets out of the car, and then he picks up a piece of glass.
Yeah, but he was fine once he exited the vehicle.
Well, they crashed the car. Like the guy driving the car was killing himself.
Yeah, but
Oh right, and he goes through,
Leguizamo was
gets up
okay.
and then cuts himself.
But like they do the thing where the car stops as like the people stop. But if you're in a car and your motion stops, shouldn't your foot just stay on the gas? Like why did the car stop?
Yeah, even if it slides off, the car would like
It would
still
move.
go for it.
Like why did it was so stupid. It didn't make any sense. It's like, oh, the car's motion was disabled, and then the car wanted to kill itself. M. Night did not think this through.
I don't think
Even though he thought it through a lot, I think at the same time he didn't think through.
He was probably like thinking, this movie's gonna be great. I'm smarter than everybody. Like, let's fucking do this.
Speaking of like the death scenes, did you guys think they were like horrifying, or were they?
Well, we were watching.
Were they like? They're kind of funny. I feel like.
I think it was New York where there's the scene where person after person grabs the gun.
yeah.
The repeated deaths. The bullet wound, as far as I can tell, is in the front of their
with
face.
the first guy, he like fucking.
That's
like,
the weirdest way to kill yourself.
Yeah. And then the other guy is off to the side, and then you don't see the woman.
Yeah, so it's
Right in the center of their forehead.
like the most awkward direction to do so.
I was hoping that they were going to show that gun being picked up 15 times.
I think there is an R-rated cut. An X-rated
The
cut.
regular one is R-rated. It's his first R-rated.
That's right. Why is it R-rated? Because nothing. I remember it being.
I don't see. There's not a lot of blood.
The only bit that is really graphic is when she shoves her like the needle.
But
in
even
her.
then, you only see like the
There's no
tiniest
blood.
bit of
There's no blood.
Yeah, like there's
no blood at all. It's
I thought I saw.
no. It's a metal chopstick goes into the throat, and it's very clearly a mannequin because she has color in her lips. And then once it cuts to the scene of the metal chopstick going into the hair, the lips are the same color as the rest of the skin. So it's very clearly and something as simple as why don't we put lipstick on her would have solved that.
Yeah.
I wasn't terrified by that scene.
I wasn't terrified by any of the scenes. Most of the scenes I thought were
The
extremely
acting
comical.
was
That's
terrifying.
what the lion scene is so funny. Like
it's amazing
Because
to me.
the people don't react. Like I feel like it'd be horrifying if the people were like conscious, but they just couldn't stop. If they're like, oh no, I don't want to get eaten by lions.
Right?
Oh, you know, like maybe not my hammy acting, but you know, like
It was good. Well, better than the movie, but-
Same, you know, like if they're just like they're into it. Like they like dying, so it's kind of funny to watch. Like,
Yeah, it was really
and obviously it's so fake. It's so terrible.
Yeah, and like when the mannequins are just being pushed off of the ledge, like the building ledge, and it's just
And
like
we're talking like 10 plus people on the top of this building. the people keep coming.
Yeah, they just keep
I
walking.
will say, good performance from like the foreman guy. I thought he was really like, giving it his.
You could tell he was.
Murphy?
Oh yeah.
McClintock?
He
I
was.
could have just listened to him list off names.
Yeah,
Richards?
Yeah. Oh, he was definitely sexually harassing women as they walked by on the street moments before.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely felt his performance. He was building that building.
Yeah, so I mean, with all the deaths, like I don't know why it got on R. It certainly wasn't a hard R. Like it was not.
And the lawnmower scene that you referenced, there was nothing terrifying about it at all.
No.
I also don't think it would work. I think it would shut off.
Yeah, like those machines are specifically made with safeties in them.
Oh,
so
also,
you can't run
you know what, I was thinking it would shut off when I ran him over, but it would definitely shut off with no one in the seat. They don't run with no one in the
No,
seat.
and I mean, like there's like this much leverage, so like it's not meant to go over a speed bump that's as big as a human.
It's not super sweet that we're doing a vocal podcast and you're using hand motions for this much.
That's how I do. This much is about that much, guys. It's okay.
Perfect, this much.
Just visualize this much in your head, and whatever you think, that's what he
I
meant.
guarantee everyone's doing this. Like there's no question in my mind.
Well, I mean, I'm watching this lawnmower scene, and the guy put his hand up first. I assumed that was a way to let the audience know that this guy gave zero fucks. His hand was out, and the lawnmower ate his hand, and then proceeded to eat the rest of them. But then it cuts away. No blood splurting. Nothing.
No.
My favorite cutaway was when the lion happened and they cut away and he had one less arm.
Yeah.
And then
It was pretty outstanding.
And they're like, they're going for that other arm. Those lions love arms.
Yeah.
And they just rip them off. That's how arms work.
Yeah, absolutely. They go
Get ripped off.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I could talk about that lawnmower scene for 40 minutes on its own.
Those parts are kind of fun, at least. Like, I wish there was more of them.
Yeah,
the movie's too long.
The movie with a comedic twist would be enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it's the shortest M. Night Shyamalan movie ever made. It's 91 minutes, and it feels like it's longer than Lady in the Water, which is like 2 full hours.
But, like, Unbreakable's good, right? Like, he used to be good.
Once Upon a Time, Sixth Sense was even pretty good.
Yeah.
Signs I was okay with.
Signs is fine. Signs is like a movie. Like, things happen, and Signs has a structure, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Signs,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he puts a bow on things too much. Like we were saying with the news reporter at the end, like repeating the lines. They do the same thing in Signs with the swing away Meryl.
Yeah.
At least then it like kind of felt like payoff.
A little bit.
Like that swing away Meryl was kind of like a fun line.
Mhm.
Mel Gibson is maybe a better actor too. So
Well, yeah.
maybe I'm giving.
Maybe.
Is it Joaquin in that one too?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Two
I
like,
guess I
pretty A-list.
Leguizamo and Wahlberg versus Joaquin and like Mel Gibson,
Yeah.
even at his worst, is a pretty good actor. You
Yeah,
know,
and
like
even Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson, or Bruce Willis and Jonathan, or
Yeah.
no, it's
Jonathan
not
Taylor Thomas. It's not him, but let's go
No,
with
it's
that.
not Lipnicki either.
Haley Joel
That's the
Osment.
Who's as a child did great. You know?
He's like a comedy guy now. He
Yeah.
actually still works. Like he
Yeah.
seems pretty well adjusted too. It's like fun to hear him talk about his past.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, you know, I suppose I can tie directly in with me talking about the Bourne movies. Paul Greengrass, director of Bourne, Supremacy, Ultimatum, and this newest Jason Bourne movie, has a tendency to shaky cam. And I felt that Shyamalan stole a page from Greengrass's book, because whenever there's any intensity in a scene, the camera gets particularly shaky. And talk about the cheapest and, in my opinion, the worst way to make a scene more intense. Like this is an active decision to use shitty camera work.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand that he was obviously trying to have it be a lot more of like from the person's perspective and everything, and that's all well and good. But I think if he had even gone to like the cheesy, like bad horror movie music, where it was like, I think it would have been better. I think it would have been easier.
Well, even the music was particularly epic throughout the whole thing. We're talking on a gargantuan level. We're talking like Independence Day level. Like this is the biggest soundtrack possible for an awful movie.
That's true.
Always with like wind blowing through the trees though, just like the most intense music. They kind of acted like the plants could control the wind. I'm like, that the wind means nothing. The plants are controlling the wind.
Yeah.
The wind's just there.
Yeah,
And they also act like, I remember from the first time I saw it too, like you can outrun the wind. Like you can't outrun the wind. It's either windy or it's not. You're not
And even
outrunning.
if you're running, it's like it's still in the air.
Yeah, like you're not looking behind you like, oh, it's windy a couple paces back, better keep, like,
Yeah.
you can outrun rain, you
Yeah,
can outrun
it's
the
not less than
wind.
nothing from fucking
It's
different story.
ridiculous.
Well, I totally wrote that down. Marky Mark outran nature.
There's literally
specifically
If there's
wrote
one
that
guy
down.
that could do it. I mean,
I did wonder how they filmed it, because there is a bit where it's windy, one bit like behind them, and it's not windy.
M. Night Shyamalan's blowing.
And so there literally must have been a bunch of fans.
yeah, it's filmed completely in sequence too.
It's
which
what?
is yeah, it's like that's the thing, like filmed like start to finish.
I was
like,
gonna do research and I didn't, so I'm glad you.
yeah, like
guys
I
did.
looked it up when we were watching, and I was like, oh wow, that's a really interesting thing.
That's what I should have done. I should have just done research while I watched the movie. It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Oh yeah, no, like I mean, obviously we're going to continue talking about it, but we've already discussed the entire movie. Like
That's it. That's the whole thing.
There's a couple little things I've got. One of them, maybe you guys can fill it in for me because I didn't pick up as to why. Why is Mark Wahlberg wearing a mood ring the whole time?
He gave it to Zoe Deschanel on their first date, and he before he uses it to like make the little girl smile. Like he's like, oh, it's yellow, it's gonna make you laugh, and then like I think when they're talking through the pipes at the end, I kind of skipped through the last 20 minutes because I was like, I know how this ends. I'm fucking done with this. But they have a little speech about how that was on their first date. He bought her this mood ring.
yeah, okay,
And I think it's what he grabs at the start of the movie.
He puts it on while he's at the house.
big memento
I thought it was
of what their love once was.
his wedding ring, which I guess would have been the same thing, but it's the mood ring. So that's why he's wearing the mood ring.
Okay.
I assume it's because Mark Wahlberg's a really bad actor. We need to know.
It lets you know how he's feeling.
I think they had to write it into the script that's Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, he literally has a different color mood ring for what.
But that's
he's supposed to be.
Yeah, like he's so coked out, he's like, oh,
he has to be like, I'm supposed to be angry right now.
But for almost all of the movie, it's blue.
Well, it's because he's always somber.
Okay.
I wonder if there's a reason for that, because I feel like M. Night had a lot of like, oh, this movie's really deep. I want to think.
I could also see M. Night having it be shades of blue, the emotions in the mood ring. So it's like, if it's light blue, you're fine. If it's darker blue, you're upset. If it's the darkest blue, you're angry.
You're going to a good
What's
place.
this, man? Like,
So there's one scene just before the talking in the pipes, I guess, where they're running away with some high school kids,
Oh,
and they end up at a house, and the people in the house are not having it. You know, get off our
that was the best scene.
far and away best scene.
and I guess the blinds or the shades open, and the high school the jock kid wearing the football jacket gets shotgun to the face, and proceeds to have Mark Wahlberg talk to him. He says to him, "It's okay. We're gonna get through this." The guy just got shotgunned in the fucking face, and Wahlberg saw the most Oscar-winning scene, as far as I'm concerned.
That was that shot in the face was great. That's probably what gave it the R. Realistically.
But you don't see it, though.
You're right.
It shows it off camera,
But it
there's a gunshot, and he ends up on the ground, and you can kind of see that there's a wound in the back of his head.
It is a kid getting shot.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's
probably more, and it is like for a kid getting shot in the head. They do. You're right. They don't really show it, but there is a little. More than they show most things in the movie, they do show.
yeah. So that's probably because he's underage, because he gets killed, and because it's like a gun to the face. That's probably what pushed it over the edge.
Did you guys ever watch Even Stevens, the Shia LaBeouf Family Channel? It was a Disney Channel show, I guess.
A couple episodes.
They had a character on there named Beans, and the white kid in that scene he was Beans on Even Stevens. The one who's like goes crazy and starts kicking the door and is like, "You pussies!" Like,
What? That's awesome.
he was Beans on Even Stevens.
fantastic.
He just went from zero to nuts. He's like, "You got a little girl out here. God, give us some food." It's like, oh, probably have guns in there, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, almost guaranteed.
I also loved how after they got shot, like Zoe and I don't know the characters' names. Mark Wahlberg just didn't really leave the porch. They just sort of stood there and like were in shock. It's like, leave. Like, obviously you're in shock, but get the little girl away from this porch where two children were just murdered.
Yeah, like
that were with you and were right next to you.
Yeah, a lot of poor choices. A lot of human choices. A lot of poor ones in this. Like, if it's me, I'm sitting in a room that I can't kill myself.
And then the guy gives them a warning after, as if he hasn't just killed two of their party.
I'll do it again.
He's like, get out of here. It's like, okay, we had a mission.
But see, that makes sense because Mark Wahlberg lives outside time and space. He's doing things in reverse order. The warning actually came first, then he killed the two kids.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's like the time
Bandit.
No, the one from Doctor Who.
Time
Doctor
Cop?
Time? Doctor, what's... Oh, they're just called the Doctor. Damn it. I don't know what time.
The Time Doctor?
Dr. Time Guy.
Yeah, Doctor Time Guy. That's what he's called.
That's BBC 5.
Yeah.
Hello,
Doctor
Dr.
Who?
Time
That's
Guy.
Dr. Time Guy.
Yeah.
That's who. Dr.
Yeah.
Time Guy.
So I have to mention one line. I wrote this down. One line in the movie that is just it encapsulates the entire movie so perfectly. Mark Wahlberg says to somebody else, I don't know who he says it to, but he says, "Can you give me only one useless piece of info at a time?"
This is the train conductor.
Yeah, this is the line he gives, and as if there was any way to better represent the emotional feeling of everybody involved in this movie.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. Felt like M. Night's. It was supposed to be about post 9/11 paranoia and pollution and everything. It felt like it wanted it to be about everything. Really, what it felt like to me is he came up with the idea for like a gas that makes you kill yourself, and then he wrote it backwards. Whereas really, that should have just been like the Bond villains.
Yeah, like
the
what was
thing
wrong with
he
it
used.
being a goddamn
It
bioterrorist
shouldn't have
thing?
been like the whole movie shouldn't have been like based on the one idea. It should have been a thing in a movie. It's like a cool idea, but it's not a movie.
No.
Okay, so I've got two things about that. One, there's no way that he came up with the idea, and this is why he moved forward. It has to be something like he was walking down the street and the wind blew his
That's
hat
what
off.
he's like. What if the wind?
Yeah, yeah.
What if it was the wind that was the bad guy?
Oh, totally.
I believe that equally as much. Probably more so.
Yeah. and then I want to.
That's what he worked backwards from. Yes.
Oh, exactly. And again, the theme of working backwards always through the thing.
That's what it meant. It mussed up his hair, and he's like, "Oh, the wind. People need to know how bad the wind is."
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And he has luscious locks.
Now, tying directly into the end of the film, I'll relate to what you just said about why can't it be the bioterrorist. It happens in what I assume is France, because they're speaking French at the end of the movie.
Well, and they see the Eiffel Tower. It's probably a giveaway.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It could be Vegas, the French part of Vegas.
Oui, Las Vegas. Oui, oui.
Whenever you see the Eiffel Tower, you're like, maybe it's Vegas.
But
Anything. Maybe it's
I
Vegas.
don't think there's any actual suggestion that it is nature. I'm totally going off track. What if it wasn't nature? What if it was a bioterrorist attack?
No, the only reason why we know it's nature is because M. Night Shyamalan's so much of an arrogant prick that he wouldn't say that it's a bomb, like a bioterrorist attack, and that they allude to it 40 times in the movie that it's nature and they can't explain it. That's why the bumblebees left. That's why the fucking dolphins flew up in the sky and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like, there's a lot of fucking problems.
And super weird, by the way. On the chalkboard at the beginning of the movie, there's an Einstein. Einstein was credited with saying if all the bees left the Earth, the humans would have 4 years left.
This
happens in one day.
I wanted to do this research. Is that true? I don't know. That seemed like a bullshit thing. That if all the bees left from human, I heard that before, but it seems like one of those bullshit, not true facts. That if all the bumblebees on Earth died, human beings would be dead in 4 years.
And I don't even know if Einstein would have said.
I can't imagine it's a real Einstein quote.
Yeah.
Even if the quote itself is accurate, it doesn't sound.
And how could it possibly be accurate? Because they can't test it.
That's what I mean. Exactly.
We're going to take away the bees for 4 years just to see what happens.
It would be exactly what he was saying. It would be like the thing we couldn't possibly know because we'd have to die in 4 years for it to know.
Okay,
Anyway, while you're looking this up, they bump things over to France. So it happens in northeast United States during a period of what 8:33 p.m. till 9:23, I think they said, the next morning. So in a period of 13-ish hours, this happens, and then it goes away.
I think it's like a 36-hour long movie. I think it takes place in like day and a half or something like that.
I can't believe they shot it in sequence. That's still blowing my mind.
Right?
Why?
and then they bump over to France 3 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how long it takes for the air to cross the ocean.
So it's the same air. We're assuming then.
Logically?
I don't know. I think Marky Mark's thing, why he thinks it's the plants, is the parks, right? That's what he's like, why was it parks? Why did they attack parks? And then that's sort of his, that's I think why we're supposed to believe, plus the crazy hot dog guy tells us, you know, that the plants.
And I quote, "Whoa, it's an act of nature. We'll never fully understand."
Do you have the mustard?
So from what I can gather, the only thing that was said here, it was, while Einstein didn't say that specifically, the quote was, Einstein said, "Remove the bee from the earth, and at the same stroke you remove at least 100,000 plants that will not survive."
Okay, so
Shyamalan is basically taking Einstein into his own hands. The mental imagery of that is amazing, by the way. But he's rewriting Einstein's history to accommodate his movie.
that's what it is. He's like, there was some sort of Einstein quote about peace. I don't gotta look it up. I'm sure I could write a better one than that fucking. Who the fuck's Einstein? I'm M. Night Shyamalan.
What has he done?
What is Shyamalan?
I did Signs, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
What has Einstein done?
Yeah.
Young Einstein by Yahoo Serious is what. There you go.
Made that guitar.
That's a movie from the 80s. It's Australian and it's super weird.
It is super weird. I can't even think of anything else to talk about with this movie.
I'm surprised we talked about it this much. There's not a lot happens in it.
No, and I mean, even all the deaths, there's only like, I mean, a lot of people die, obviously, but there's only like 4 death scenes that really happen in the movie.
Yeah,
like,
they're all terrible.
Yeah.
And there's nothing really suggesting, I hate to put realism into play in a fucking Shyamalan movie, but the people jumping off the building, they might not die.
That's what it's like the scene in Dark Knight. I'm not going to die from this.
Well, the only reason I'm
was counting
assuming
on
that they would die is because ambulance wouldn't get there and they'd probably die over time or bleed out.
Yeah, I guess people seemed okay with just maiming themselves. Like, again, it was
Yeah.
they probably, I mean, I guess he went head first with the lawnmower, but that might not kill you right away. You know?
And
Like,
well, because he went hands first. So
Just
it
one.
would get to here and then it would just stop.
I think.
And by
that's
here,
the way
you
it's
mean just
making
past
it.
your wrist.
Yeah.
Okay, because we're
Yeah, like mid-forearm.
Okay, good.
No way it's making it through your shoulder, right?
No, and I mean, there's no way it's a fucking lawnmower. It's not going over your head. Like, my head, from like forehead to the back is probably like 6.5 inches.
I feel like it's
Like-
gonna have some trouble with a femur. Honestly, it's gonna get all
Yeah.
jangled up.
Yeah,
It's not
and-
meant to fucking.
And we're also assuming that it is able to drive on its own. And I don't know if
Well, it's
you're
maximum overdrive.
in the
That's
scene,
when it's the maximum overdrive is happening at the same time.
the lawnmower is actually turning. I don't know if you're aware of this. It turns a corner
Oh, yeah.
to come
Oh,
up
it
to the
does.
guy.
It does.
And there's nobody driving it, but it somehow knows to turn
Well,
a corner.
that could also be the air doing it.
That's it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, right?
I have one more thing, and it's like a little thing, but I thought it was weird that she's pregnant at the end of the movie. They decide they want to have kids, but it's like they're already taking care of Jess. So wasn't that enough of a choice?
I assume they put her up for adoption.
To have, no, she's living with them. I mean, yeah, they're just waiting. I
Yeah,
guess.
like, I'm saying, like, we don't love you. We're gonna have our
Oh,
own.
my other thing was, I thought it would have been super fun if Leguizamo's wife showed up at the end of the movie.
You have my fucking daughter.
And she was just like, you guys, I had the craziest time. I ended up with this crazy guy, and he was in a cabin, and he had the slaves, and she had like a parallel movie, and that was happening too.
Oh yeah, like Cloverfield Lane.
Exactly.
That would have been fucking great. That was-
What's actually happening is they're not sending the kid to school. They're sending the kid to Princeton, New Jersey.
That's what it is.
The Happening 2 follows this little kid going to find mommy.
Yeah, I kind of feel that, like, man, what year was it? It was the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds where Tim Robbins goes like full back.
2002.
Oh, yeah,
something like that. I think that like the Tim Robbins role should have been in this movie, like, cause he went like he was full batshit crazy.
That's what you
the entire
expect
time.
the lady to be, but she
Yeah.
just dies like
I-
everyone else. She
I
just,
wanted-
you think she's gonna be a villain, but she just is
Yeah, I
another
wanted-
person who dies.
Someone to freak out in this. Like, if I'm Mark Wahlberg and I see all these people just fucking dying, like running in front of cars and like jumping off buildings, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on in this goddamn life? Like, where am I? And I wouldn't just be like, oh, it's the bees. The bees are killing everyone. Like,
Maybe this
fucking
is
Wicker
the way to go, how to fix this movie. I liked when the old lady killed herself, and she was like smashing in the windows with her head to like let the air in. That would have been cool if they were like, not only were people killing themselves, but they were killing themselves in ways that made it easier for other people to get.
So it's like Jackass, The Happening?
kind of.
Sort of, yeah, like they're doing crazy. But like, I don't know, just having there be an antagonist, and not just like,
Yeah.
either the movie decides you're gonna die, or it doesn't
It's
decide.
kind of
you're
hard to
gonna
be
die.
pissed off at the wind.
Yeah, like there's no character development, and there's not a real conflict in the entire thing because nothing fucking happens. Like, it's basically we're watching Vacation. Like, instead of going to Wally World, they're fucking going to a goddamn cabin, and things happen along the way. And people died just like that dog died in Vacation.
Yeah.
And the grandma died.
grandma died too, right?
They had to carry the grandma.
Yeah, she's on the top of the station wagon.
Does that happen in the new one? Did anyone see
I
the new
did
one?
not see the new one.
I did see it. As an aside, I quite enjoyed it. It was quite hilarious. But no, there's as far as I recall,
starting the podcast of Vacation.
there's a bunch of super weird rim job jokes between
Ed Helms and the kid.
Ed Helms and the kid. Yeah. I don't remember his name.
It's
Wally.
an open mouth kiss. right? That's what he says.
Yeah, and
Oh, that's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it goes on far longer, and it's super hilarious.
Is the like girl in the Corvette? Is that the biggest reference to the old movie?
Yes.
She gets flicky.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Christy Brinkley. That was
I like
Billy
that
Joel's wife for a minute.
Yeah.
That was another thing. It made me want to watch other movies. The Happening. I was like, there's other movies that exist that I could be watching.
Yeah, like this movie's on, and I'm looking back there, and I'm like, there's so many more.
Anything else?
movies to
I
watch?
think it made me like Suicide Squad a little bit more because I'm like, at least it isn't The Happening.
Well,
There's a little life in this movie.
Like this movie is to me, up until the ending of the movie, I'm gonna say this is like a B movie of Knowing, the Nick Cage movie. I don't know if you've seen Knowing. It is genuinely a good movie up until about the last 5 minutes. Then it turns all biblical and super weird.
I knew it got by with. That's the one with his son is weird,
With, like,
right?
the math equations?
Yeah, that's all I can describe. Math equation. That's what it is.
It's got that same sort of like the wind is evil, but the kid knows that something's happening, and it's awesome up until aliens who look like the tall, skinny, lanky dudes from Prometheus take the kid to a new planet because they're gonna Adam and Eve the shit out of this new planet.
I didn't think they were aliens. I haven't seen that movie for a long time. So.
I'm going by memory here.
I thought they were like the Thin Man or whatever.
Yeah, it's like super.
Yeah, but I didn't know they were aliens.
Because they take the kid to a new planet. I
Oh,
thought.
alright, yeah, I'll play that. I haven't seen that in a long time. That was my hating Nick Cage phase.
I thought it was a great movie, and up until again the last 5 minutes, but I thought it was more engaging than this movie was.
Oh, like this movie. Obviously, we had difficulty because this entire movie is on YouTube, which we might not have said before. But Zach pointed out that they slowed the movie down 18 minutes, so it like the dialogue was just so much worse than it normally should have been. Because like they're talking, and I was like, how do you talk like this? Like, did they just learn English for this movie?
And it made sense because it was like I could tell it was like it's obviously a bad movie, but it felt like such a chore to watch it. It felt like I literally couldn't watch for more than 5 minutes. I'd have to pause it.
Yeah,
and
it felt
do
like
something else.
Like one of the stage directions was act slow.
Yeah, like like we were watching it now, and he said that I smelled a bit, and I was like, I'm gonna go shower. I won't miss anything, and I showered for 15 fucking minutes, and I came back and nothing happened.
Even if the movie wasn't slowed down, you could have showered for 15 minutes.
Oh,
and you'd be like,
easy.
it's still. You can only watch this movie one time because once you know that they're not gonna really tell you what it is.
Yeah, like,
the whole movie's like, are we gonna find out what it is? And I already know that we're not gonna find out what it is.
No,
so.
yeah, like I kind of have a similar problem, albeit a much worse problem with Usual Suspects because I can't watch a movie anymore because I know what happens, but that movie's at least engaging.
It has like
time.
performances and action sequences. That again, I've only watched Usual Suspects once, but
I have seen it like 3
Is it true that Kevin Spacey's character in The Ref is a prequel to The Usual Suspects where he's Kaiser Soze?
I have heard that. I'm kidding. I haven't heard that stuff.
Dennis Leary pushes Kevin Spacey to the point where he leaves Annette Bening in The Ref and becomes Kaiser Soze.
I haven't heard that one. I've heard that Dennis Leary in The Ref is the same as Dennis Leary in Demolition Man. It's just him. He got frozen.
Holy shit, that's fucking great.
He's Mr. Smiley.
Oh
Am
my
I right?
God.
I got the name wrong. Is it Mr. Smiley?
Sure!
I think he's something like
In
that.
Demolition Man?
He's like Smiley something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's, fuck.
He's the only one who doesn't eat Taco Bell.
He's the only one who doesn't talk about it. He stay down here, maybe starve. It's, it's Cocteau's the bad guy, and it's John Spartan, and it's Wesley Snipes as Black
Edgar Friendly.
Edgar Friendly.
Friendly, oh.
Edgar Friendly. There you go.
Ooh, I knew there was an adverb in there.
Yeah.
Well, and Jack Black shows up in that movie as Dennis Leary's sidekick.
Yeah, cameo.
Yeah,
that's a
for
big one.
no reason whatsoever.
Jack Black has like a lot of those, I feel like. Where you're always like, what is Jack Black doing in this?
Yeah, and he's in it for like 10 seconds. Is that him? Do I have to go watch it again now? Shit.
He's in Airborne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it totally ties in with this because clearly The Happening is Airborne. So why can't we talk about a rollerblading movie from 1992?
Yeah.
I think, I'll talk about anything over The Happening. I can't even.
There's also a bit where he says something is happening. And
Yeah.
they knew what the movie was called, and they wrote that scene.
They make
Why did they do
mention
that?
They make mention of something happening a couple times, I remember.
They make a big deal of him be like, there's something happening, and then no one says anything for a couple seconds,
Yeah,
as if we're supposed to be like, oh, that's The movie is what's happening.
Yeah.
And what was supposed to happen was Jack Black was supposed to cameo in Sand.
That's what he is. He's like, it's happening. I think KG was gonna.
The tagline for the movie was, "You sensed it, you saw the signs, now it's happening."
What if you're the like?
Isn't that an Ace of Base lyric?
I believe so. It opened up my eyes.
You're the studio executive and you see this. You see what M. Night has brought you. You're like, this guy is on top of the world. You know, his movies are making slightly less money every time, but he's a genius. You know, this is what M. Night can do no wrong, and then he brings you this. And you're like, I have to sell this movie.
Yeah. And
At least Mark Wahlberg's in it, I guess, but
yeah, I mean, like Wahlberg and like Zambo, and I mean, like Zambo never an A-list actor, but he's always decently okay. I'm curious how they would sell it, or how they would, like, how could you make this movie better?
I think it needs an antagonist, or like a way to. They needed like a trick where they sprayed something in the air and they could tell if it was infected or not. They needed to be less arbitrary about them actually dying or not. You know, like it just seemed like M. Night either decided that this group was gonna die, or it didn't. And they kind of did the thing with the groups of people, but that's just stupid. Like that's.
Yeah.
Well, and then at the end of the movie, we cut forward 3 months later. Everything has completely gone back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking mass suicides of biblical proportions happening here, and 3 months later, fuck it, we move on. I'm okay with it. Let's send this kid to school. Everything's cool.
Are they still living in Pittsburgh or whatever, Philadelphia?
I imagine so. I don't see why they wouldn't. So I mean, I'm just looking here. Like, how could they make the movie better? Apparently, it's a $60 million budget.
57, if I recall.
So they get that much money, and this is what we get.
What did it make? Do you know?
163.4 as of
that's close.
So it made $100 million over and above making the budget back.
Yeah. Domestic, it made 64. Foreign, it made 98. I assume Shyamalan's gigantic in like India and China. I assume.
Yeah, his dialogue is already like clunky, so I feel like it wouldn't lose anything in translation.
Opening weekend, it was number 3 at $30 million.
I saw this and Incredible Hulk on the same, like back to back. I remember.
Wait, Incredible Hulk was Norton or? Norton?
Yeah,
I like Norton. That was a good one.
I
actually liked the first one better, the Eric Bana one. I thought the comic cuts for the scenes were
there's
brilliant.
some fun stuff in that movie. I think Ang Lee clearly didn't want to make a comic book movie, and I think it shows. But I think at the same time there's an artfulness to it that you don't usually get in a comic book movie because he's like a real director, you know.
Yeah, it's very clearly we're making a comic book movie. We're gonna let you know we're making a comic book movie.
Yeah,
is the vibe that they give up. And Jennifer Connelly is a smoke show.
Yeah, well, yeah, she looks good now. So does Bana. I mean,
Bana's great.
Alright, he's dreamy.
The movie's alright. I like the end fight, like where it is just the comic panels with, I think it's Absorbing Man that ends up being
it's Nick Nolte.
Who's his dad.
Yeah.
That's a weird.
Yeah.
They used to do a lot of weird stuff where they will make this supervillain his dad. You know, that's old comic book movies.
It's true. So I don't think I can even think of anything else. Well, I mean, like, could you get better actors for The Habit? Like, could we get better people to make this movie better?
I think maybe not necessarily going better, but if they went with cheesier actors, it might play out.
Make this movie more enjoyable for people to watch.
Make it a B movie.
Yeah,
make it a sci-fi TV channel
Bruce
movie.
Campbell or like Ian Ziering or something like that. Because like Wahlberg shouldn't have done this movie ever.
Put Patrick Warburton as the lead. And have him be manic the entire time. I feel that there was not enough immediacy to the stress and the distress that was happening. People are fucking dying here, and they're pretty calm the whole time.
Yeah, it seems really weird that like there's always that saying that like the person is smart but people are stupid. So if the person is smart but he's with all of the other persons, that makes them people. So one person would freak out. Everyone else wouldn't be like, no, just be calm about it. One person freak out, and everyone would freak out.
Yeah, like the scene where the train service is stopped. There's hundreds of people milling around this Filbert, Pennsylvania train station. They're calm as can be.
Yeah.
The train guy, the conductor, he's calmly telling them, hey guys, we haven't heard from anybody. We can't talk to them, so we're gonna stop now. We're gonna leave you. and we're good.
Yeah.
And Wahlberg processes this. You can see him on screen. He's working through it.
You can see those gears grinding.
They are. He's clapping the syllables the whole time, and then they just move forward.
My favorite part is when, speaking of the gears grinding at Wahlberg, is when he goes through all the lists of the scientific. He goes through all the steps. He's like, "That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm doing. Like, identify the experiment. That's what's happening. It's the two groups." I think what he was trying to do was like a Doctor Strangelove type thing. I think he's trying to do a lot of social commentary. I think the way to make it better is even you keep Wahlberg in the movie doing his kind of weird performance, which I think Shyamalan must have told him to do, right? Kind of this deer in the headlights, and make it more of a comedy, because it is so, like there's funny elements. I feel like the idea of people like just sort of casually killing themselves is sort of funny. Like,
so entertaining.
I kind of enjoy the death sequences, but it's just they're not used in the right way. So like, if you had more jokes about paranoia, or like if we met like a Tim Robbins character, I think that'd be great. And that it's supposed to be like, though, this is this type of person that they would react in the situation, and this, and Wahlberg's like the everyman, and where this is like the comedy of errors of society, right?
Or maybe have Wahlberg still be the calm, relaxed one. Have everyone else around him going Looney Tunes batshit crazy, and the draw of his character is the gears are turning so slowly that he's calm and collected the whole time.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
And then, because it's the shortest Shyamalan movie, add on another 25 minutes of random people dying in the most amazing ways possible.
It would have to be. Like, guy jumps into a shark tank or something.
Guy, full head of steam, runs face first into a TV.
Yeah, or brick wall or something. That's what I want.
It should have been more like. That's what's happening too. Is they just go all Final Destination and really focus on the kills.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this movie was really fucking. And I wouldn't tell anyone to watch this movie.
No, it's really.
You told me to watch this movie.
No, I made you watch it.
It's not fun. Maybe the unrated cut is a little more fun.
Maybe.
Like maybe
there's like more gory death scenes.
I think it's quite a bit longer, and it's mostly
it's supposed to be like 22, 23
Maybe the unrated version has the two Muppets up in the balcony doing a commentary the whole time.
I feel like every movie should have that commentary track.
Absolutely.
It's just Statler and Walden.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't tell you to watch the movie. Like, I made you watch the movie. I wouldn't put this on like a friend to be like, "Oh, have you seen The Happening? You should watch."
Yeah, it's not even really fun as a bad movie. I remembered it being more fun, but it's. I mean, again, we watched a slowed down version. But even without that, I wouldn't want to watch it again. It's really boring.
Well, throwing back for a sec to the Suicide Squad you're talking about earlier. I read a review about it, because the reviews are amazing. One of them says, if you hate somebody, not if you dislike them, but if you genuinely hate them, buy them a ticket to Suicide Squad. That's what I feel this movie is.
Yeah, I would agree. This is sort of like this is the fuck you of a movie.
Oh yeah, you work at the office, and there's the Stinky Pete who hasn't showered in 3 weeks, and he smells and he hits on all the dudes and the ladies because he's super creepy and awkward. You would buy him The Happening for Christmas because you got his name in the hat drop.
I wouldn't even do that to someone.
I wouldn't want to pay for it.
Not even Stinky Pete.
Because what if you pay for it and like people are interested, gotta make a second one, get M. Night, he's back, he's King of Hollywood again.
Yeah.
Well, let's put that in perspective. They made $100+ million over and above the original.
That movie made a lot of money, and
they still haven't made another one. So
I mean, they haven't made any Shyamalan sequels.
And I believe that's a him thing. He probably says he doesn't want to do sequels.
He's not a sequel
He
guy.
believes that sequels are below him. I can easily say that.
Also, this movie got torn apart.
Oh, it got
This was a horribly reviewed.
It was the second last one, and then it was Avatar, and then nothing until.
Yeah, even Avatar is sort of like a weird one for him to do. Like it seems like that is him losing clout that he has to do
a lot. Yeah,
something that isn't just an M. Night joint,
Yeah.
Which I mean, he still wrote and directed.
Would they call it an M. Night Sheesh?
A Nicki Minaj a trois. And I assume the only reason, genuinely, the only reason why The Happening 2 hasn't happened is after this movie, he stopped wearing hats. Because he's like, fuck you, wind.
Maybe.
I've won.
Maybe.
Where he shaved his head, and he's like, I'm okay with this now. I can't mess up my do.
Yeah, I could easily see them just like. I mean, he hasn't done a sequel to anything. I would like to see The Seventh Sense and see what that is.
There was always going to do more Unbreakables, and then that Devil movie was supposed to be the start of a trilogy.
Yeah, there's the rumor of there's still a rumor of them doing a sequel to Unbreakable. It'd be sweet. It would have potential to be sweet.
Probably wouldn't be good because it's modern M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
We could somehow get that old M. Night back.
Yeah.
That's the only movie because I like. I don't.
Yeah,
I've never seen The Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense was fine, but it
I
wasn't good.
know what happens, and I've known my
Yeah.
entire life, and I've known the entire time. I feel like I've only known about Sixth Sense in context of knowing about the spoiler.
I'm not gonna lie, I've not seen Sixth Sense. I've not seen Unbreakable. I've not seen Signs. I think I saw Avatar in the theater.
I haven't seen Avatar.
With me on Canada Day.
With you, yeah.
And Tyler.
And I only know, as you say, Sixth Sense, seeing dead people, because that was such a cultural norm for the time being. And I don't know what Signs is about, to tell you the truth. I assume it's
Crop circles and aliens.
nothing to do with Mel Gibson being racist.
No. Well,
Okay.
he might be. Well, he plays like a priest or something in it. So
So it's a precursor to his racism.
kind of.
And then Unbreakable, Sam Jackson is the totally super weak guy, metaphor on the racial tension between white guys and black guys.
He's Mr. Glass. They called me Mr. Glass.
Is that like
best
Mr.
ending.
Plow?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his
Basically.
name.
Yeah.
That name again, Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
That's a superhero one, Unbreakable. It's like a real life
Yeah.
superhero. It's actually pretty good. It's like
it's genuinely an enjoyable movie.
I would say that's a really like a good movie. Like actually,
It's
for Willis too. Is a good performance from him.
Maybe his best performance. To be 100% honest.
Man, when he's like trapped in that swimming pool.
Yeah. I would say that's easily the best M. Night Shyamalan movie by like double, by like far.
Don't care for the village.
No, The Village was just annoying, and it was a dumb premise. Like
Adrian Brody's performance in that movie is insane.
Yeah,
Like he
it's-
could not get away with that today. People would
oh god, no.
rip him apart. He's
Well,
drooling.
Yeah,
Like,
the only
he's-
one that could is Nick Cage. Like he's the only
Yeah.
one that could get away with that. And even then, he's probably like, no, I'm a little bit too good for this.
You know what? I think this is a little too offensive for me,
Yeah.
Nick Cage. And they feel like those words have never been said before.
right?
And what's the one with Paul Giamatti? Lady in the Water?
I have not seen Lady in the Water.
It's not good.
There's a lady in the water, I assume? That's all I need to know.
No, the lady in the water, like the water is like a different dimension, and she exists there, and she's being attacked by like a dog of the water.
There's a lot of weird stuff. Isn't there a bit where like a film reviewer is like reviewing himself and then he gets killed or
Yeah, like it's
it's a very meta film is what I understand.
yeah, like
Oh, it
and
sounds awful.
it's not great, and I mean, I enjoy Paul Giamatti a whole bunch as well, and he
Yeah.
couldn't save that movie ever.
I quite enjoy him as well.
He's great, and
Paycheck with Ben Affleck was great.
oh, Paycheck, yeah.
Paul Giamatti's in it. He is great.
I would love to see no, it's on it. I'd love to see Paul Giamatti instead of Wahlberg in this. First off, I believe he could be a teacher.
Yeah, he looks like a teacher.
All
I
the
agree.
time.
I agree.
And make him gristled.
And second time, he could be like, he could just go crazy a little
Yeah.
bit. He'd be like, what's going on? Where? Paul Giamatti. And he just freaks out a little bit. And he doesn't even have to freak out a lot. Just a little tiny bit. And that's more than, like this is the flattest performance I've ever seen from Mark Wahlberg. And that says a lot.
I need to see Paul Giamatti talking to that plastic plant.
Oh my god.
I can't do a Giamatti. I'm not even gonna
I
try.
couldn't even attempt to do
I was like
Giamatti.
thinking about it. I'm like, you can go for it. I'm like, then I can do. Wahlberg's acting is so shitty in the movie. It's like, hello.
His acting is...
Or maybe have Paul Giamatti play Mark Wahlberg.
I would like that for sure.
And I think he would do a better Wahlberg
He
than
would do a
Wahlberg.
better Wahlberg than Wahlberg. You're right.
Did you ever see Andy Samberg do Mark Wahlberg? He used to do it on SNL.
Oh no.
And then Mark Wahlberg actually got mad at him. Like he like publicly said he didn't like it. And then he came on SNL and like talked to him about it. like in character, like jokingly, like
Yeah.
they kind of made up. But he used to do. It was like Mark Wahlberg says hello to barn animals or something. And he would just be like, "Hello, goat. How you doing? Say hi to your mother for me." And that was the whole. He would just go through.
Sounds
a
like
bunch of-
Mr. T for a second.
That's fucking great. His was better than mine, but recommended.
No, it's good.
That's a pretty good Mark
Andy
Wahlberg.
Samberg, Mark Wahlberg.
I'll watch
You can probably see the whole saga on YouTube if you.
I-
This was back when I used to watch SNL.
I probably will. Yeah, I haven't watched that in a long ass time, so.
I might, the new cast seems fine. That was always my problem. Or my problem why I left is like I like everyone on the cast, but it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So you need some new people.
Yeah, I don't like Kellen.
Kellen Lutz?
No,
Helen Keller?
Oh my god, I know what you're talking
the dude from Good Burger.
Oh, Keaton Thompson.
That's the one.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
He's one of those guys. He's been there for like over a decade for sure. Like,
and he's just like, I've never found him funny. And I was like, man, weren't you the guy that had the knuckle puck and goddamn Mighty Ducks 2? Yeah, you were, and you sucked them.
he has a shtick. He always just dresses up as a woman. That's his whole.
I can see that.
Or if they need a black
That's-
person, he's the black. That's why they keep.
Yeah, and
him.
he's like Jamin Hansu black. Like, he's black.
So he's like the poor version of Medea?
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Ever seen a Medea movie, either of you?
I've seen one.
I've never seen any of them.
I have never.
Not.
Nope.
I've heard some are better than other ones, so I
saw-
wouldn't watch any other Tyler Perry movies, but
He was in Ninja Turtles too. He was Baxter Stockman.
Did he get mutated?
No, they
No.
send him away and allude to it, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the bad guy. Or was he the bad guy? Wasn't he in Jack Reacher?
I never saw it.
No, he's in Alex Cross. He plays.
That's right. That's what it is.
Alex
He
Cross.
plays Alex. It's another book to film. And Matthew Fox.
Big dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Matthew
That was
Fox
a big
plays
dude.
the super crazy angry bad guy.
That's right.
what it
That was the one that Jack from Lost was in.
Yes.
We have to go back.
That's Matthew Fox, 45.
Oh man, I'm totally gonna watch that.
Yes, Alex Cross. Not Aaron Cross of Bourne Legacy fame. Alex Cross, his black brother.
Okay. I'm probably gonna forget most of this, but I'll try.
And
If you aren't keeping notes, there will be a test.
And Alex Cross is apparently a book that appeals to old people.
People really like that book. I
guess.
think people were really upset by that movie. Not
Well,
being
yeah,
good.
because
it's really similar to Jack Reacher too. Like
I think all those like detective,
well, Alex
Tom
Cross.
Clancy-esque novels.
Yeah.
I don't read them, so I shouldn't pass too much judgment.
Yeah, I've never read an Alex Cross. I'm the first to admit that. But Jack Reacher, that was in a different category for me because I like the movie because it's Tom Cruise doing Tom Cruise as Tom Cruise. But the book, it seemed like just a masturbatory rag that the author came up with. The coolest person he wants to be is the character he wrote. So he's super fighter guy. He's super smart. He knows everything specifically about blues music.
Oh, yeah.
They make like I get the impression that the author is just a fucking douchebag who wrote this as an ode to the guy he wants to be, and then they gave the script to Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise is like, no, fuck this. I'm gonna be TC 2000. I'm gonna be Tom Cruise, and I'm gonna do this, and this is how it's happening.
We're talking about Scientology, the first page and the last page of the script.
Oh,
No, they're making a second Jack Reacher.
It's
right?
coming out.
The trailer actually looks pretty
I didn't see
good.
the first one, but I heard it was quite good.
I want to see the first one.
isn't Captain Boomerang in it?
I don't. What's the guy's name?
Jai Courtney. Of course, yeah. He plays the Russian thug. Well, not the main bad guy in Jack Reacher, but his main henchman is Jai Courtney. And if I recall, the bad guy in it,
Isn't it Werner Herzog?
it totally is. And his henchman is Captain Boomerang.
It's so weird that Werner Herzog is the bad guy in the movie.
Yeah, it's
takes his time off from making documentaries about like death row inmates.
Yeah.
to be a bad guy in a Tom Cruise.
Although let's be fair. I mean, if you asked Richard Attenborough, hey man, stop your Planet Earth documentary. We want you to be the bad guy in a Tom Cruise movie. They wouldn't even have to think about it.
I want to see Scorsese as a villain. That's the next Bond villain. Should be Barty. He should have been.
Oh,
Well.
I feel like he could be the bad guy in Under Siege too. I don't know if you remember that one. That's where Steven Seagal's on the train and his niece is Katherine Heigl. They've got some over-the-top, stereotypical, like just totally this super nerdy, curly-haired Jew kind of guy, and it's just super ridiculous and amazing. I think Martin Scorsese should be that role.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, he's pretty seamless in his acting abilities.
He should play Robert De Niro in the De Niro biopic.
Nice.
And De Niro should direct it.
That'd be
The
terrible.
same thing should happen for Tim Burton and Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
So I would be excited to see Scorsese as De Niro say to Owen Wilson as Ben Stiller, "Milk me." There you go.
Gotta bring out that. Oh,
There's a scene.
yeah, that's. We talk chewing scenery. That's
Milk
like.
me. Well,
Yeah, milk me.
Number one.
Yep.
Holy shit.
There you go.
I got nothing for that.
So I feel like we are finding other topics to talk.
we really.
So we
talking about the happening. Good. Yeah, 10, 12 minutes ago.
yeah. I mean, there's nothing else that can be covered
No.
for this movie.
So it was good segues though. We've gone.
We've gone back and forth. We're
Yeah.
very fluent in that. So any final thoughts on the movie?
Personally, I would say don't ever subject yourself to this. Watch the trailer. The trailer looks pretty good. Don't watch the movie.
Yeah, you can probably find a YouTube compilation of like
Yeah, we
the
tried.
kills. No,
We were looking for a Cliff's Notes The Happening on YouTube. We did not find it.
Someone needs to make that YouTube channel. There's an idea for
Yeah.
you.
Movie Cliff Notes. There you go. We can summarize shitty movies so you don't have to watch
That's
them.
I don't know. I feel like that would just be for people trying
Like
to do
us.
podcasts on movies. That
Yeah,
would be the only reason you would
I mean,
possibly do. Why would
We
you
would
just
be
watch
doing the
other
podcast for the podcast.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know. People watch anything on YouTube, so people would probably watch it.
That's true. Yeah, so I mean, for me, like the trailer made the movie look way more interesting than it was. So I'd say watch the trailer, don't watch the movie.
So my takeaway from this: watch Jack Reacher. Really, that's what's sticking in my mind. If you haven't seen it, see it.
Well, I want to see Andy Samberg play Mark Wahlberg. That's the big one.
Watch that one too. That's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
I'll give that one a go.
And if you, I don't know, you might have to look up a news article about. I don't think there will be video of Wahlberg being upset about it, but the video of Wahlberg being on SNL,
freak.
I'm sure.
Well,
I think
hope he
Wahlberg's kind of a dick. That's what I always think.
I've been led to believe that. Yeah.
That's what it seems like. I mean, Entourage is based on his life, so he must be at least somewhat of a dick.
Yeah.
I hope he freaks out in real life like he does in The Happening.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that's all we've got for the happening. Thanks very much for coming out, guys.
Thanks to our sponsor, M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, and Diet Coke. 0 calories in this can. We'll come back soon with another movie for you guys. Have a good night.
Cookies.